Hey guys, it's Xenofang here, back on another Monster Hunter build guide video. Today we're going to try to speed it up and just have the build in general. This particular build is based around my sword and shield, and trying to get the most damage output I can for this particular weapon. Now, in general, even though I said this particular weapon, this build can work with any weapon in the game. It just gives you a flat damage boost. It's crazy because there's really no real good combinations out there that can give you this amount of damage output for a single weapon. I think it's crazy. Of course, there's other builds you can go with that'll give you more utility, which in turn might give you a little more DPS for the whole long run of the fight. But when it comes to just a flat damage increase, this is probably one of the best builds out there. The particular sword and shield I'm going with is this one, just so I can get the gem slot 3 and gem slot 2 of it. You could go with a different weapon. For instance, like I said, you can use a different type of weapon. You could go with something like the Xeno'jiiva one, which ends up giving you like 2 slots there. Or, for instance, the sword and shield version of that, which I believe I have, right here, which will give you things. You'll just have to tweak the build a little bit by maybe adding some dragon attacks so you can get more value that way. But otherwise, yeah, it gives you the capability of augmenting the weapon 3 times. I'm honestly probably going to go with the Bayroth whenever I've got all the pieces for that, just because it gives me additional like flat damage increase. But when it comes down to it, I feel like this is probably the best weapon suited for this build because it gives you the slots, it gives you the capability of augmenting the weapon a lot, so you can get a lot of extra damage output, and since it is a non-elemental weapon, you get to use a non-elementalist jewel, in turn boosting your damage even more so. On that note, we're using a attack charm 3, which gives us attack boost 3, increasing our attack boost to probably close to the maximum we can get from our gear that we have, besides the decorations, which in turn allows us to max it out. With that whole pattern of trying to increase our damage, the only thing I could think of that would just give us a flat damage increase would be critical chance, or what is it called? Affinity in this game. So pretty much maximum might will give you a flat crit boost for just not wasting stamina. And since the sword and shield is a weapon that doesn't particularly use stamina via attacks, this is what you would want to use. So we got maximum might by the Nergigante Helm B, which gives you 2 slots, allowing you to have more utility within the build. We go with a Rathlow's Mail B, which gives us weakness exploit 2, getting us closer to that maximum affinity cap. As addition to that, we get a gem slot 1, which gives us another capability of buffing our build up a bit more. Nergigante Vibracers A, which gives us Agitator 2 and attack boost. Agitator is the only other way in the game besides like elemental builds or whatever that can boost up your damage just flat based, so that's pretty good. We got a Nergigante Coil B, which gives an additional attack boost 2 and a gem slot 2, which allows us to slot in that maximum weakness exploit, which is great. Then we get to our Nergigante Grievers A, which gives us gives us maximum might 1 and agitator 1 with a slot 1, which in turn finishes off the pieces of the gear. Let's go ahead and get on to the decorations. The decorations we're particularly using is an Elementalist Jewel 2, which gives us the maximum Elementalist damage we can have for this particular weapon. That's why I went with this weapon over others. Again, if you were going to run with a different type of elemental weapon, you could slot out for that particular element. Then we have a Critical Jewel 2. I know a lot of people will not have this one, but if you don't and you end up having a Agitator one, you can switch that out for Agitator. But if you're trying to get the maximum damage out of the build, I would recommend going for this because it just gives you additional 5%, I believe, for 5% additional crit, if I believe that's what it does. Even though it says it's 30, I don't believe that's actually how much you actually get. It just increases the cap from 15 to 30. So I guess it's 15% extra damage? I think that's how it works. Don't quote me on that, When it comes to the additional, pieces, I end up having 2 slots here and a slot here. You can go with whatever you particularly like, but I went with more survivability, which gives me more vitality. So I went with Vitality Jewel 2, or Vitality Jewel 1. I have 2 of those here and 1 down here. With a attack Jewel 1, everybody should have this. It's just what you get once you get to the certain capability of getting this, which in turn gives me the maximum attack boost. And then I went with a Tenderizer. Again, something that people might not have. If you don't have this and you end up having the, what is called Agitator one, you can, again, switch that out. But I honestly highly recommend Weakness Exploit. If you don't have this, you should grind for it because it's super important. It allows you to switch out a lot of pieces within your builds. You don't have to work worry about that maximum weakness exploit. So when we're done with the whole build, we end up having a total of attack boost 7, health boost 3, weakness exploit 3, agitator 3, maximum might 3, and critical boost 1 with non-elemental boost. And since we are rocking more than 3 pieces of the Nergigante set, you get Nergigante Hunger, which ends up allowing you to receive a certain amount of health back whenever you deal damage with a weapon. Incredibly good. Allows you to have a lot of survivability and have a shitload of damage. Like, this is probably the best damage build in the game. There's just a lot you can get with it. Now again, this is particularly based around this weapon. I wouldn't use this with something that wastes a lot of stamina, such as like a bow or like dual blades. But other weapons, like for instance the like a long sword, you can use it with this weapon, the sword and shield, light bow guns, all that. It's gonna work perfectly fine with. On that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye, guys. I also forgot to note this at the end of the video, but if you guys want to see the gameplay of this build in action, I always release in a day after the build has been released, the gameplay of the video, which will be in the link of the description below. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye, guys.